Welcome, ideation visualization students. Thank you so much for joining us. I see a comment that a question, is my mic on? And the answer is yes. Okay, great. Thanks. You can hear me now. Fantastic. So just a quick welcome to everyone. I'm really looking forward to working with you guys on this project. We are going to work with a wonderful brand called Halo. Tess is going to give us an introduction to the brand, what they're about, a little bit about the project, and so on. Thereafter, you guys will have an opportunity to ask questions. Any questions you can pop into the comment section while she's talking as well. But we'll only answer them afterwards. After the Q&A, I'm going to go through all the logistics with you guys, show you where to find the brief, look at the brief a little bit, show you where to find the content, where to upload things, download things, and so on. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to hand over to Tess. Tess is the brand manager at Halo, and she's going to just introduce us to the brand. Alrighty, Tess, I'm going to start sharing my screen now. You're welcome to unmute and turn on your screen. Okay. So let me just give me a second. All of these things take a little bit of time to load. Okay. All right. Can everyone see the screen? Can you pop me a chat? Perfect. Thank you. Okay. Thanks. We're ready for you.
Okay. Thank you so much, Marilee. I'm really very excited to be part of this project. We've started this company about a year ago, and the focus of this project is actually to have all the designs done by up-and-coming new designers like yourselves. So I'm very excited to have Vega on board. Marilee, next. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about the brand, but I thought that there's nothing actually better than showing you. So here's a short video about who we are. Our packaging is biodegradable. There's no plastic here. Our dish covers are made out of 100% organic cotton, and we use food safe mix.
We've got community development initiatives that we are doing.
Work very closely with the artists like Lino. It's just been really phenomenal to see the growth. Okay, thank you so much. So in case you don't know what a dish cover is, a dish cover is, you can use it as you would cling wrap. It's a breathable cover that can be used when you are dining and you want to set a beautiful table setting. If you've got a salad that you've prepared in advance and you don't want the flies to get in. But they're also super useful when prepping meals. I use mine almost every single day. And when you're finished, you just pop them in the fridge with your dish covered in the dish cover, and they can be washed and used over and over again. So this is really an amazing product. Our world is becoming a little bit more green, and they're definitely ready for a product like this. So I wanted to chat to you guys a bit about how your design can be used to make the world a better place. Marilee, next. So what I wanted to do is actually just share a quick video about our founding company. This is a video about Julia Schaefer. Julia is an amazing woman who actually started this company, and she started it from her own home. So I wanted you guys to just see where this idea came from. Please will you share that video?
Sorry.
I think if you make it full screen, yes. And the sound.
I draw them out, and the prints for our products are designed by myself. I draw them out, and then I carve them by hand into stamps. The ideas for the products come from working in the kitchen or entertaining, and I just think what would be the best solution for the job that needs to be done, and how can it be done in an eco-friendly way and in a way that would improve other people's lives. Our first product was a kitchen cloth called the Kitchen Lucky. It is hand knit in home industries. It was modeled after the kitchen cloths my grandmother used to make. We're famous for our dish covers. They are breathable covers that you can use instead of cling wrap. We have a little stand at the watershed in the V&A waterfront. So you've bought something that works well, that is not harming the environment. It's given a woman an opportunity to earn her own money and still be available for the family and for the community. A customer said to me, these products make doing those menial everyday chores just so much nicer, and I thought, that's it, that's what we're trying to do.
Okay, so I don't want to confuse anyone. So Spaza and Halo are two different brands, but Julia started the company, and at first it was all her designs, and she was selling them all out of this tiny little store in the watershed, and then she realized that that we needed to grow, and she wanted to find ways to bring people along on the journey with us. So her brand is still operating Spaza, but Halo has come alongside Spaza, but with the key difference being that we're only focusing on dish covers and that we've got this focus on all of our designs being done by young South African artists and designers. Okay, so next. So when it comes to design making the world a better place, so I studied art and I also did design when I was at the National School of Arts in Braamfontein. And when I was used to think about this question about design making the world a better place, I would kind of always see it from the perspective of like I would create this piece of art or design, and in this piece of art or design there would be some kind of message that would be communicated and people might be inspired to change through that. And I mean, that's certainly one aspect, I think, of design being used to make the world a better place. But there's this whole other aspect, and that is that our actions have a ripple effect into our environment, and we have the choice where we put our designs and what we do with them. And something I found when I was first moving into the workforce in South Africa is there's a lot of companies where ethically they're not focused at all. And for me, it's quite inspiring to know that we can make a difference through the work that we do. And really, I mean, it has a lot to do with who we choose to align ourselves with. So whether that's creating a print on an amazing eco-friendly product where people think it's beautiful and are inspired to live a more eco-conscious lifestyle that way, or whether it is us partnering up with businesses which embody the spirits of the change we wish to see in the world, or whether it's creating our own companies from scratch. I think it's very inspiring to know that Julia, I mean, she's now immigrated to Canada, and this whole company is running here in South Africa. And we've got, I mean, if I see where she started and where we are now, it's just incredible. I mean, she was doing this all by herself at first. She used to carve the stamps herself. She was printing them by hand. She was baking them in her oven at home, and she was rushing to get this all done. And now this fully set up business and the birth of Halor as well. It's just quite inspiring, actually, how much difference one person can create. Okay, can we go to the next slide? So I wanted to chat to you guys a little bit about the manufacturing process. So all the designs are first cut by our cutters, and then the designs are shot onto screens photographically, and then the panels are sewn. We've got larger CMT projects that we do and our community-based projects. Our model is a little bit different from what Julia was doing with Spaza, where she was specifically working with home industries. We've actually partnered with it's a community initiative called Bambanani, and they are based sort of in the heart of Nyanga, and they find people there and train them, and we've tried to get as many of them involved in our projects as possible. Quite alarming, because some of them, we chat to them and they've been unemployed for 2 years. So it's really amazing how you can take business to areas like this and what a massive impact it can have on the community. So then all of our finished products are also packed through our community-based projects. So the reason why we wanted to just chat about the screen printing process as well is it's important when you guys are coming up with your designs for dish covers to consider the thickness of the lines. Because of this process with the screen, if the lines are very, very thin, then some of that detail just gets lost completely. So it's just important to take that into consideration. I think it's, I don't know if you guys work with micron pens, but like the number 5 micron pen is about like maybe a mil or 2 mils. It's like a thicker, slightly thicker instrument to work with for, if you're drawing digitally. It's important to consider that. Sometimes with like very fine sort of scratchy drawings, that can become more of a blur through the screen printing. Next. So, okay, so that's a bit about the brand. I just wanted to show you a couple of the artists that were chosen for our first call out. So we chose 5 designers, you can see. And these 3 that I'm showing you are just the 3 that I think were the most successfully received by the customers. So you can see Anushka Davids, who's her edible flower range. And you can see one thing what we like to do with this project is to give a lot of airtime to the artists themselves. So I always tag their work in all of our social media posts, and their names are featured on our website. So what's quite nice about this is doing this project is a little bit of global exposure for your work that you've chosen. So let's have a look at another artist, Johanna Lindy. So you can see her work is a lot more graphic. What was interesting is that this was received, I think, much better when it was on photos and videos, just because of how beautiful those bright colors photographs. So what we've seen is that there has to be kind of like a combination between the light and the dark, or the printed and the non-printed, just for those designs to really come out nicely. And then there's one more artist I wanted to share with you, Mirror. Oh, you can't really see his design so nicely in here. You guys will have a look. But this was his Beach House series. And again, it kind of sort of hand-drawn, but also a bit of a graphic approach in his designs. He's used negative space. Next. The other thing I wanted to just show you is it's important to consider what this product looks like on a bowl, but then also once it's folded up in its packaging. So sometimes a sort of a more consistent design, like I would say like that one that's yellow, for example, it's done a lot better than the gray one at the bottom. And I think that's because the gray one is much finer lines and people like that slightly bolder use of color. Okay, so next. Thank you so much. I hope you got a better understanding of this brand, and I just think you guys are all in such a sort of exciting period of your lives, and yeah, I think one of the major benefits of having an education in design is it's going to help you to have this sort of out-of-the-box perspective, and I know that when you take that into the real world and apply it, that the solutions you're going to come up with are going to be incredible. And I just think that you know, we've got sort of a limited amount of time you know, on this earth, and a limited amount of time that we spend in our careers, and it's just actually amazing to see that you know, if your intentions are there to positively impact the world through your designs, then that will manifest in reality. So I just wish you guys all the best of luck. Thank you.
Thanks so much, Tess. It was very interesting. Really enjoyed that. Any questions from you guys? You can either pop it in the comments or raise your hand. I'm just going to give you a few minutes for you guys to process and respond. If there are no questions, it means you were very thorough, Tess. Okay, so there is a question. What was the specific theme for dishcloth covers? I'm going to go through the themes with you guys now. And then the second question is, do you prefer more intricate or simple designs? Tess, would you mind answering that one, please? Tess, if you're talking, we can't hear you. You must be muted.
I'm sorry, I was on mute. Okay, I'll answer that question as well. So when it comes to more simple or intricate designs, I would say both work. It's more about you know, we try to cater to a variety of different taste levels in our customers. Our customers are women. They range from about late 20s to about 55. So it's more about having something which has got a sort of a general appeal. But when it comes to intricate and simple, we've had a very positive response from both. I think if you look at Johanna Lindy and Anushka Davids, Johanna Lindy's prints were a lot bolder and more simple in their shapes, and it received a really positive response from a different set of people to the more sort of hand-drawn designs. So when it comes to digital or hand-drawn, both. I think you really need to play to your strengths and your own voice. Okay, well, there was quite a long comment that I couldn't read the whole thing.
Okay. All right, Tess, I think let's do the color preference of your customers first. Yulan wants to know if your customers have specific color preferences.
So we found they actually like the brighter colors, but we like to provide sort of more muted colors and brighter colors for different customers. I think something when you're thinking about colors, it's a great idea to look at color trends that are coming out for next year in people's homes. There's going to be a lot of bright blue, orange is coming, pink is coming back, but then there's also that kind of more earthy, darker browns and that sort of thing. Those are coming in too, and those sort of greens. And so I think it's just important to see what's trending in terms of putting together a color palette, but people have their preferences.
Okay, so there's one more question here. Killen says, or asks, does the brand want to have more abstract emotional design or directly targeted at environmentally friendly aspect of the brand? It would be a balance of cooking and what's homemade energy versus eco-conscious zero waste situation, right? In the students' words.
That's correct, but I think we're going to present the themes to you. I can tell you what the themes are now, but you're going to go through them in detail with Marilee just now. So the three themes that you guys are going to do, it is farm to table, paradise, and 60s, 70s retro bloom. So when you're thinking about the designs, it would kind of be more along the theme. So it's not so abstract that you need to focus in on zero waste or anything like that. You're basically aiming to create something which is going to be beautiful in people's homes. When it comes to color, it's every single dish cover has to have its own color. But you guys are going to do the dish covers in a black and white format so that they can be screen printed, and then the colors will be it will be more of a suggestion of the color palette, because there's a possibility that the brand will take your suggestions but modify it slightly depending on what the other colors are in the range of the time. So let your imaginations go wild and come up with what you think will be the most appealing set of colors, but I'm just letting you know that they can change. So I think the most important thing is actually you need to focus on the design and the balance of what essentially is black and white. There's only two colors because it's a monochromatic screen print.
Okay. Tess, Jeanette wants to ask a question. Jeanette, you can just unmute and ask your question.
Thanks very much. Thanks. That was most inspiring. Thank you very much, Tess. I have a question. In the handouts that Marilee, she sent us a PDF about the project. She spoke about the balance between positive and negative shape. Now, I told my students that translated into, in fact, the blocked in color, which is understood as positive shape, whereas the color of the background, namely white, is the negative shape. And I think in numerous times in the document, they spoke about a balance. Now, would you suggest then to students that you want more or less 50% blocked in color and 50% white? Is that what you mean? Because obviously blocked in color is a bold design, whereas an unblocked in is more is whiter design, which you say is not as popular. Perhaps you can elaborate there a bit.
Yes, not a problem at all. I think so. These are functional objects, and they go over food. So if you leave too much cotton showing, which is essentially the white, and that balance is off, they tend to look dirty, and our customers prefer the ones that are slightly bolder and more filled in. I think 50% is probably a good place to be. It could probably go as much as to about 60%, but then you obviously don't want the whole thing to just be one big block of color, because then that becomes hard for the ink to dry. So I would say a 50-50 balance is probably perfect.
Okay, sorry, there's one more question, Tess, and then I'm going to shut up. I did
No
ask it
problem.
earlier. I did ask it earlier, and that is, I was trying to look at the bowls and the covers. Can you just give us some indication what is best? How far from the edges of those diameters which the students were given must the design, or should the design start?
You can use that whole space. That space is already in the center of the panel, if that makes sense.
No. Can you elaborate further? I thought the diameter, yeah,
so
is the thing bigger then? Is the
Yes,
actual piece
so
of cotton bigger?
Correct. The actual piece of cotton is quite a bit bigger. It's about maybe 2 or 3 centimeters all the way around. So that space, that canvas space, is a canvas that can be used to its full capacity all the way to the edges. I know some students like to actually make a round shape around the edge and work in that way. That's possible if it works with the design. But I mean, you can also have pictures that are in the middle, as long as it fills that space well, and that can also work, and just use that circle then more as a border. To know that's how far you can go with your drawing. And then in that case, you would actually take the circle out at the end.
Fine. Thanks very much.
Pleasure. Thank you so much.
Okay, Tess, one more question. We have someone, it's Keelan again. He's asking if you are attached to the more circular mandala type of shape, or could they push the boundaries a little bit and go a little bit outside of that type of structure?
We are not attached to the mandala, but I think a good person to look at is some of Miro's work. Some of it works within a space which is more like the mandala, but others kind of branches out where he's just sort of got abstract pieces of seaweed on the side. I would say as long as there's some kind of consistency, it can change from one side to the other, but you basically want to be able to fold it into a small square, and for that piece to be as beautiful as the side. Like we've done this Big 5 collection, this example, but basically now it can't be displayed without it actually being on a bowl, because once you fold it all up, you can't see that it's a lion anymore, and then it just becomes this sort of abstract shapes that doesn't make sense to the audience. So that it's okay to break out of that mandala, especially if that's something that's inspiring to you, but just make sure that it makes sense in almost kind of in quadrants, or if you just took a piece out of the middle. I hope that clarifies things.
Okay, thanks, Tess. I think I missed a question earlier, asking, would the brand consider a focus on fynbos or medicinal or organic flora? Would that fit into one of the current themes that we have?
Unfortunately, the themes are chosen already, but I would say that in paradise, it could be a paradise in South Africa. I think fynbos is probably not quite the plant I would think about for paradise, but yeah, you'd have to see how you can make that work. But we actually have just done a theme which is gone now, and we'll also launch next year, which is African flowers. So I'm afraid we've missed that for now, but it's likely to come back at some point. Maybe in the following years. I want to let you guys know that these projects go on. We do these call outs twice a year. So if you follow us on social media, even one day, once you're not part of Vega, this is something which you're always welcome to participate in. So if that's something that excites you, you have to just hold on and wait for our next themes.
Okay, right, Jeanette, do you want to ask that question by unmuting?
Yes, hello. Thanks very much. A quick one. I've actually got it in the chat box as well, but maybe you can answer it. I'll ask it nevertheless. So a couple of questions from my students yesterday when I spoke to them about it. One of them asked, must each plate be different, each size different, or must they all be the same? Is it just a case of making a smaller version of the sizes of the image, or must each design on each size be unique? How much of a continuity within the design does there need to be?
So I would say that each design should be unique. However, you can play on elements that you've used in previous designs and incorporate them in if you wish to. The amounts of continuity, I mean, each one could be, let's argue, a different plant. As long as the style and the consistency of mark making work from one plate to the next, they could be completely different. Or if you're kind of maybe working with a more graphic approach and you wish to bring elements from one plate to another, that can also work.
Okay. Does presumably, yeah, I think that's done it. So there must be a kind of feel of the artist. The artist's signature essentially must be evident in each submission.
Yes.
Thanks very much.
Okay, I see one hand. Oh, Jeanette, it's still yours. Okay, no more hands. Comments are quiet. One last opportunity, guys. Okay, there we go. One more. So we are creating a range and not just one. That's correct, Michelle. Okay. All right. Thanks, Tess. I'm going to take over now.
Okay.
You're welcome to hang around, or you're welcome to go your way. Either way, you're welcome. And thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate you taking the time to brief us and to talk to our students. It's always really nice to meet the client and have the answers from the source. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, guys.
Bye. All right, guys. I'm going to quickly talk you through the logistics of the brief. So I'm going to quickly share my screen again. Sorry, just take a minute. Okay. Oh gosh, how am I going to? Oh, oopsie. Wait. Let me just, sorry. Okay. Let me try this. That's better. And then I'm going to. All right. Okay, so where I am now is I'm on one of the campus's ideation visualization page. If you go there, you will see under your main heading, there's a Halo dish cover project. Okay, So everything about the project you will be able to access from this area. So if you click there, you will see a few different tabs appearing. Your tabs at the moment do not have everything populated yet. Everything will be populated by the end of the week for you. What you'll see at the moment is the briefing. Okay, so if you click on the briefing, you're going to see the link for today's session. I'm going to replace that with the recording. Okay, so if you need to access the recording, this is where you're going to find it. Then underneath that, I've uploaded the project brief. All right, so it's a PDF document. All right. I'm going to download it. I'm going to put it on my messy desktop. And we're going to work from that. Okay. Let me try and make it as big as possible for you. Can I make this smaller? No. Alrighty. Okay, sort of legible. Jeanette, this is the document I sent you guys. I've had to update a few things. Let me start with that and address some of the questions posted while Tess was talking. So the first one is around the dates. Okay. So initially, when I and Jeanette, this is specifically for addressing lecturers now. When I initially uploaded the document and when I planned out the schedule, I accidentally used the wrong calendar. So I've had to adapt the dates a little bit from what we initially discussed. So the big things for now, and I know a lot of people are stressing about deadlines and dates and due dates. So the pitch, you need to have uploaded by the 30th of August. And the due date on your assessment schedule currently, you will see it is the 20th of September. Because of that additional assessment week that was included to accommodate exams from first semester, that had to be moved out for a week. So in class, you guys will be working on this project till the end of academic week 6, and you will then submit it on the 4th of October. What I will do is I will also include a little schedule for you guys on the page so that you can have a look at that. Okay. All right, so I'm not going to go through what, yes, that's what I was talking about earlier, is I've re-uploaded the brief with the correct date for you, which is the 30th of August. Okay, everything moved out with 1 week. Okay. All right, Tess covered the first bit. I think what I would like to highlight is that, okay, so across Vega, 2 students will be selected to work with Tess on this project. You are going to, the 2 students who are selected will complete the series, and each of you will be contracted, will receive a contract for 1,000 Rand each, which I think is a really, really nice little fund for your studies and for a little bit of pleasure as well. So that's the carrot for you guys. And as she mentioned, you will also be featured on their website in this type of a format. Okay, I just included the links to their blog and their web page as well, so that you guys can go and have a look there. Okay. All right. So repeat of task 1, new submission date is the 4th of October. Okay. All right. The objective of this brief is to create a contemporary one-color series of prints with a modern, sophisticated feel. The one color refers to one color per design. You will design in black and white, and then you're going to select a few colors or suggest a few colors that you think your designs would look nice in. And as Tess mentioned, they're going to make the final decision of what colors they think your designs will look best in. All right, so the tone is current, modern, contemporary, and universal. Your target market is women aged 25 to 55. We can expand beyond that as well. The three themes that you guys have to work with for this project is firstly paradise. This lovely descriptions here of the themes, very exciting. Looking at sort of inspired by Versace's catwalk show, tropicals, exotic botanicals, eastern flora, and so forth. All right, then we've got retro bloom, inspired by 60s and 70s designs, those really nice vintage flower power prints, and even a little bit of 70s disco that you can work in there. Right, nice small and large scale blends are developing. The third theme is farm to table. So farm to table is basically, you know, living off the land. So literally growing in your garden, picking from that, and literally putting that on your table. So other words or phrases that could resound with you there is locally sourced, farm fresh, farm to fork. And a nice question to think about: what images can evoke this idea in the mind of the consumer? Right, I included a note for copywriting students. You are welcome to try out a few text designs, come up with some nice phrases, and turn that into a design. And you can do that in various languages as well to see what comes out there. Right, I see there's quite a few questions. I want to address them as we're working through it. Okay, so then do we have to work on one theme, or do we do designs from two or all three? No. Keelan, you choose one theme, and your entire series is based on that theme. So you're not going to jump around between them. Okay. So sizes, compulsory sizes that you guys are going to design are included here. So we've got a circle. We've got medium, 21 centimeters. As Tess mentioned, this is just the design area. Okay. So the cloth is going to be cut bigger than that, but this is your size that you work with. The medium, large, and extra large, and then you've got a rectangle to design as well. So you are going to initially design 4 dish covers. If I scroll down, you will see that the additional sizes that you're going to develop with Tess, if you are chosen, are included here. So in total, there will be 8 designs in this series, but we are only focusing on 4 now. Okay. So we're going to run the brief over 3 weeks. This is week 0. So this is just briefing, getting you guys into the brief, into starting to think about ideas, start collecting inspiration and so forth. So next week in class, you guys are going to start working on your concept development phase. By the end of that week, the 30th of August, I think that's a Monday. So we're just giving you the weekend to refine and do what you add a little bit and polish, spit and polish to get your designs done. So you're going to pitch it on the 30th. How the pitch is going to work, you're going to create either a video or a slideshow with a little bit of audio. So it's going to be literally a little pitch that you create yourself. I'm going to make recordings for you for a few ideas how to do that. I'm also going to load a pitch how-to guide for you guys. Exactly, showing all the little details of what to click, what not to click, where to upload, and so on. So your pitch should be about 2 minutes. Try and stick to that as much as possible, because there are a lot of students that we need to work through. So please be mindful of that. Okay. Once you've posted, you will have the opportunity to comment on 2 other students' posts. That's for a little bit of constructive feedback, advice, things you notice that might be a problem, or an idea that you have to develop that student's work further. Right. Then, in week 2, you're going to develop your motives and repeats. Okay. So from your inspiration and your concept, you're going to choose a few motives that you're going to use in your designs. This week will be used to develop those motives and to start playing around with them and see how they can be repeated and arranged to form the final design. Tess mentioned that you may sort of repeat and reuse your motives in different designs, but each one must have its own unique flavor. Okay, so you're going to maybe use one component that is consistent throughout in various places and sizes, and then add a fresh element in each design. Okay, so if you're clever with creating your motives, it actually makes your design work so much easier. Right, final week, week 3, just getting your designs ready for submission, compiling all your documents, and making sure everything is perfect. Okay, and then we're going to submit on the 4th of October. And okay, so most of these hints and tricks Tess have already mentioned. I'll just quickly mention them again. I'm going to highlight too much solid color is not great. The ink becomes expensive. It takes long to dry. So keep it balanced. While, she gave a ratio of more or less 50-50. Okay, but there's always room for a little bit of movement depending on your design. Please note, final designs are screen printed, so your fine lines do not translate well into print. Fine, or for example, a pencil sketch will not work at all. You lose a lot of detail. Any grayscale, any gray parts will not transfer well. So it needs to be a nice solid black and white with sharp edges. Up to 60% solid color, yes. All right, another nice tip is to have a look at the trend forecast to get an idea of what is going to be in demand in 2022 and 23. And then she also showed you guys how the packaging looks. So that has been covered. Okay, submission requirements. You include your process work. These are basically the items that you're going to include in your pitch as well. A short write-up of your interpretation of the chosen theme, your inspiration and mood board, your initial rough designs, and your suggested color palette. You're going to submit the motives you designed and the references you used to create them, your 4 final designs to the correct size in black and white in a PDF document. So if you created a digital design, you need to make sure it's PDF. And if you created it by hand, you might need to make sure it's scanned in and the background is nice and clear, that you don't have any marks or shadows in the background. And then together with your final, just include a few thumbnails in the suggested color scheme so that you get an idea of what your designs will look like in the colors that you suggested. Okay. This is going to use the following criteria when selecting your designs. So ask yourselves the following questions throughout the process. Is the theme coherently applied throughout the designs? Is there visual unity in individual designs? Are the designs balanced and with adequate positive and negative space? Is the design series eye-catching? And does the design fulfill the manufacturing requirements? For example, no fine lines, nice sharp edges. Okay. And over here, we've got the rubric with the assessment criteria that you will be marked on. This project is going to count out of 40, and it's going to replace the second part of your POE task 1. Right. It will also contribute to the overall impression of your submission. So it's making a significant contribution to your task. So the first part that will be assessed out of 20 is the pitch about the theme and the color scheme, theme interpretation, collection coherence, and variance. So there we're looking for your 4 sizes. And the second part, we're going to look at visual impact, use of positive and negative space, radial design, and repeat. Okay, so that's the part we just discussed, that we need a smaller part of your design to be able to carry the bigger design as well, as you would see it in the package. I hope that makes sense. Okay, all right, so that's the brief. Jeanette, did you want to ask another something else?
Yes, thanks, Marilee. Just quickly with regards to the rubric, as I say, yes, it's divided into 2. There's band 1 and band 2. Yes. Just essentially then, the one band is process work or the preparatory work, and band 2 are the finals. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Thanks.
That's correct, yes.
Thanks very much.
Pleasure. Okay, right, so we are done with the brief. So let's go back to this part over here. Okay. So the other thing I wanted to quickly show you guys, we only have 2 minutes left, is the concept development and planning and pitch phase. This is something that's a little bit unfamiliar to you guys. So I just wanted to show you how it works, and that it's not too scary. If you click on the concept development, the first item you will see is post your pitch here. If you click on that, it's going to take you to a platform called Padlet. Okay, you're going to post your pitch here, and this is where other students will comment on it. You're going to do that by clicking on the plus at the bottom here. In the how-to guide, I will repeat all of this, and I'll also create a little screencast to go through the process. So if you don't remember everything right now, don't stress. Okay, in the subject, you're going to put your campus and your name. You are allowed to write a little comment at the bottom here, and then you're going to upload your file. All different, there's a variety of supported things. You can even do a presentation on YouTube and include the link here. If you click here, you'll see these are all the supported formats, and you can, select whatever you need. If you do a normal PowerPoint presentation or something like that, you're just going to click there. It's going to take a little bit of time to upload. If you want to, you can add a background color, and then once you've done that, you're just going to click publish. Okay, so I'm going to just do a quick demo here. I'm going to just select that image there. I'm just going to post the image. It's loading. I am from Pretoria. My name is Marilee. And type in a little comment. going to make my background blue, and I'm going to publish it. Okay. Right, so your post will appear like this. If it's a slideshow, people can click on it and it will open and people can go through it, or they can just press play. You can go like it, you can go add a comment. Okay, so that's just quickly, just a quick go through there. Okay, I think one last thing, any further questions after the session, you're welcome to post here in the Q&A forum. The tip jar is if you have a bright idea or find a really nice resource that you want to share with others, you are welcome to include it there. All right, so you just click on it. This is a wiki. You're going to either create a new wiki or you're going to edit one of the existing ones. And yeah, that's what you can use that for. Okay. All right, guys. Last opportunity for questions. Kiara, does there need to be audio in the pitch? I would recommend you recording yourself with the pitch. It's a good idea. It's not essential. If you for example have a slideshow where there's adequate text that explains your concept, then that's fine. I would actually not try and keep the file sizes manageable. So maybe not a song. Okay. Perfect. Any other questions? Okay. Jeanette, is that a hand?
Yes,
You're welcome to talk.
Marilee, these pictures that these students have to present, they are rough drafts, though. They're not going to be.
Yes.
Okay, fine.
Very rough concept pitch.
Okay.
Yeah, no.
That's cool.
We're not looking for anything polished at this point.
Yeah. Okay. And then finally, are these pictures going to be available to all the students and all the teachers on all the campuses, or is it just
yes.
Okay?
No,
fine.
yes.
Thanks.
The pitch we made available for all the campuses. The reason for that is a logistical reason. It's so that Tess can go to one place and have a look and post her comments in one place. And it's also nice to see what the other campuses are doing. So yeah, I think hopefully you get inspired by looking at all the pictures on the platform. Okay, anything else? Okay, all right, guys, you are more than welcome to pop your questions in the Q&A. I'm just also giving you my email address here in the comments. I'm going to post that for you. You can copy that. If you've got anything that you don't want to post on the platform and that you want to ask me directly, you're welcome to send that. If you, especially with the pitch and with the platform, if you get stuck there, let me know. I'll try and see where I can assist. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for your time. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the project. Bye-bye.